Sri Gurubhyo Namaha children, welcome to our online teaching academy Ekalaiva. The topic of this video is respiration in organism. So in our previous class we have discussed about the respiratory system in various animals. Hope you have remember. We have discussed about cellular membrane and as well as skin and the animals which uses the gills and the mammals which use lungs, and those things we have seen. And now in this video we are going to study about the respiratory system in humans. So we know that humans comes under mammals category, and so humans were using the lungs for their respiration. Now first we'll the learning objective of this video is, at the end of this video you will be able to understand, or you will be able to say that what is human respiratory system and what is the function of it. Now let's start our class. So let me show you the picture of human respiratory system, and human respiratory system consists of many parts. So first let me name out the parts of the human respiratory system. So human respiratory system starts from nasal cavity, so nose or nasal cavity, and then we have pharynx, then larynx, then trachea, and then we have trachea will be divided into bronchi, and after the bronchi it has been subdivided into bronchioles, and each bronchi will be divided, trachea has been divided into two, and each bronchi will be in the each part of the lungs, and then inside the lungs this bronchi will be subdivided into bronchioles, and then this bronchioles ends in the alveoli, and at the bottom of the lungs we have the diaphragm. So these are the parts of the respiratory system, and now we are going to study about each part in detail. First, now by studying these parts we are also going to trace the path of the air which is entering into our body. The very first part of the human respiratory system is the nasal cavity, nose and nasal cavity. Nose you know, and space inside the nose we used to call it as nasal cavity. And first when we breathe in, during the inhalation, this air or the oxygen enters in the respiratory tract through the nose or the nasal cavity, and once it reaches the nasal cavity, the air will be filtered. How does it filter? We know that inside the nasal cavity we have the tiny hair. Okay, the role of that air is to filter the air which is entering into our body, and once it has been done, and we also have some mucous membrane inside the nasal cavity, and the role of that mucous membrane is it secretes the mucus, and mucus is a slimy material, sticky material. Okay, this slimy sticky material will trap the dust particle. It will not allow the dust particle to enter into our body. Okay, so that's all about this nose and the nasal cavity. After that we'll see where does this air goes into that. And the next part is the pharynx. So after the nose, the air enters into the pharynx. So what is pharynx? Pharynx is actually a tube that conducts both food and as well as the air. Near the pharynx we have a part called epiglottis. You can see here So the role of this epiglottis is, it will, even you can see in this picture, and as well as here. So this epiglottis will protect the windpipe. When we are swallowing, it will not allow the food to enter into the windpipe. So that is the role of epiglottis. And pharynx is a region where it divides, where it conducts both food and as well as the air. Now we will switch on to the next part of the respiratory system. The next part is the larynx. Larynx, we use, the other name for larynx is the sound box, because our vocal cavity will be there in the larynx. So what is this role of this larynx? Larynx, actually it is in a box shaped structure, and which air will be passes through the larynx, and then it is located after the pharynx and before the trachea. Okay, so you can see the parts of the picture of the larynx here. So as I said, it is a box shaped structure. It has vocal cords, so it is responsible for the sound which is coming out from our body. Okay, now we will move to the next part. Next part is the trachea. Trachea, the other name for trachea is the windpipe. A generalized name, we used to call it as windpipe. And it is a main airway to the lungs. Through that only the air enters into the lungs. And how does it located and what is the shape of it? We will see that. You can see this is the trachea. Okay, this trachea, it is made up of C-shaped rings. Okay. So you can see the cross-sectional view of the trachea. You can see this blue color thing is which is in the C-shaped. So it is a cartilage. So what do you mean by cartilage? Cartilage is a flexible muscle. You can find the cartilage in your tip of your nose and as well as the ears, and these parts are made up of cartilage. They are not strong like bones and they are not soft like muscles. So they are somewhat flexible muscles. Okay, so the trachea, it is made up of cartilage. Okay, so this is the main path for the air to enter into the lungs. Now we will move to the next part. So the next part is, trachea has been divided into two, that is left bronchus and as well as right bronchus. So you can see it in this picture. So here the trachea is subdivided into right side and as well as the left side. So that subdivision, when it is divided, then that we used to call it as bronchus or otherwise bronchi. Bronchi then leads into the each lungs. Okay, now we will move to the role of the lungs, bronchi. So inside the lungs, each bronchus is divided into bronchioles. So what is bronchioles? You can see in this picture. So this part is the trachea, and if it is subdivided, then it is called as, these parts are called as bronchus or bronchi. Okay, and the branches of bronchi, we used to call it as bronchioles. Okay, so how does the air goes till bronchi? Let us write and show you the passage of air. The air first enters into nose or nasal cavity, and then it goes into the pharynx, and then it reaches the larynx, and then it goes to the trachea, then bronchus, then it reaches bronchioles, then it reaches the part called alveoli. So now we are going to see about the alveoli. So the bronchus, as I said, bronchus has been divided into bronchioles, and bronchioles will be in the lungs, and it is lead into alveoli. So it is alveoli. You can see the picture of alveoli here. This is the alveoli, and the role of alveoli is actually the alveoli, it is a bag like structure. Okay, in that bag like structure, it is highly supplied with the capillary vessels. Okay, so what do you mean by capillary network or capillary blood capillaries? It means that tiny vessels, we used to call it as blood capillaries. So you can see the red and blue color things, that is the capillaries. So what will happen in the alveoli? Let me explain you. So in the alveoli, the air will get exchanged. Okay, so at the end of this lesson we'll be at the end of this video we'll be discussing about how this oxygen is diffused into the blood. Okay, so before that we'll complete the next part called diaphragm. So diaphragm is a muscular membrane which divides the abdominal cavity from the chest cavity. Okay, so you can see here, so it divides the abdominal cavity from the chest cavity. Then what is this role of this diaphragm? Diaphragm helps in the process of breathing. Okay, so how does it helps? Let me tell you that. So when we breathe in, what happens to this diaphragm? When we breathe in, this diaphragm will goes down, that is it will get contracts. So when it is get contracts, what happen? Lungs will get more space. That means when the air enters into our body, it need more space to occupy. So that help has been done by the diaphragm. So when we breathe in, the diaphragm will goes down, it will get contracted, so that all the alveoli will be filled up with the air. Okay, so that is what it helps the inhalation. And what about in the exhalation? When we exhale, what happen? It will comes to its own position. When it is comes to its own position, the lungs will get less space, so that what happen? The air which is inside the lungs will comes out of the body. So you can see here the diaphragm returns to its resting position and then increases the pressure inside the lungs. So when it increases the pressure inside the lungs, and obviously the carbon dioxide, which is a waste material, will be comes out of the body. You can see in this picture during inhalation you can see that this diaphragm goes down because it creates the space in the lungs, and during exhalation it will goes to its original position so that the carbon dioxide can come out of our body. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the alveoli. What is the role of the alveoli? So here is the space. Alveoli is the region where this inhaled oxygen will enter into our bloodstream. Okay, so alveoli plays a major role over here. As I was explaining about the structure of alveoli, it tells that it is highly supplied with the blood capillaries. Okay, why does it supplied with the blood capillaries? Because of the gaseous exchange. So here is the structure of alveoli. and you can very well, this yellow color part is the alveoli. It is a bag like, sac like structure which carries the oxygen, and around that alveoli you can see this red color part, that is the blood capillaries. Okay, so what happened, the blood capillaries will bring the carbon dioxide after the metabolism over, it will brings the carbon dioxide to the alveoli, and thus carbon dioxide will be diffused into the alveoli, and already this alveoli carries the oxygen. Okay, O2 will be there, that oxygen will be diffused into the capillary. So already we have seen in the moist skin and most of the unicellular organism, and those are breathing through the diffusion, and here also our oxygen will diffuse into the blood through, and also carbon dioxide will diffuse out of the blood and it will reach the alveoli. Once it reaches the alveoli, when we breathe out, automatically this oxygen will, this carbon dioxide will comes out of the body. So this is what the process I have explained now. This is the overall structure of the alveoli. In the previous slide we have seen only one sac of this alveoli. It is the overall picture, and this blue and red color, these things are the capillaries which is surrounding the alveoli, and here is the place where this oxygen and carbon dioxide are getting replaced by diffusion process. So once it reaches the blood, what will happen to the oxygen? We know that through the digestion process, already what happens, the energy will be stored in our body. Okay, that energy will be this oxygen which it is diffused into the blood will makes that energy in the usable form, because with the help of oxygen only the chemical reaction will takes place. So how does it this oxygen, what is happening once it is diffused into our body? Oxygen attached to the hemoglobin. So what is that hemoglobin? Attached to the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a red color pigment. Pigment means that is because of that hemoglobin pigment only our blood is red in color. Okay, so hemoglobin is responsible for the color of our blood. Okay, so it is this red color pigment attached into RBC, that is red blood cells. Okay, and this oxygen will goes and attach to the hemoglobin, and it will be carried through the blood to rest of the body cells. That is how it reaches. Once it reaches the body cells, what happens we'll see now. So cellular respiration, that is what we are talking about, the internal respiration. So once it reaches the cell, okay, you can see the equation here. We know that the energy which is produced will be stored in the form of glucose. We have studied that in the nutrition in animals. Okay, so this C6H12O6 is nothing but it is the glucose. So when we breathe in, that is external respiration, oxygen enters into our body. So this oxygen will breaks this glucose, and it will gives rise the products of carbon dioxide, water, and also it releases the energy. So that is how we are getting the energy from the respiration. So hope you could have an idea about what is external respiration and as well as what is internal respiration. With the help of external respiration, internal respiration takes place. Because of that we are getting the energy, and as I discussed in the introduction, I have told you that food is, we know that the ultimate source for our energy is food. I have told you that it is a partially correct. Why did I tell you like that? Because without oxygen we cannot get energy from the food at all. So the food, the energy which is there in the food will be converted into a usable form only with the help of oxygen. So that's all about the respiratory system in humans, and we have more to learn in this lesson. So we'll continue the lesson in our next class. Okay. Thank you, children. Please do subscribe our channel to get the latest updates. Thank you, children.